Breathing is probably the biggest challenge facing newbie swimmers. Putting your face into the water isn't natural, and then trying to establish the correct movement and timing that's required in order to get in enough oxygen is something that's got to be learned. So we're going to be covering how to breathe while swimming front crawl and bringing you some tips that will hopefully make it much easier. Holding your breath for too long will cause a build-up of CO2, which then triggers that gasp reaction for air. And it's usually that feeling of panic that then makes you lift your head right out of the water, something which obviously you want to avoid when you're swimming. So the trick is to continuously and gradually exhale. This will automatically make you feel more relaxed and then therefore able to take in a more efficient and better in-breath. And as a result, meaning you can actually go for longer in between each breath and therefore disrupting your stroke less too. Admittedly, there is a lot to think about whilst you're swimming, and breathing is quite often the final component to be added in. Well, today we're actually going to start with breathing and then add it back into full stroke later on. Relaxation is key, so we're going to start with the basics to build up your confidence. So holding on to the side of the pool with both hands, simply place your face in the water and gently and continuously breathe out through either your mouth or nose or both. And then once you've emptied your lungs, lift your head just enough to clear your mouth above the water and take a controlled, steady breath in before popping your head and face back into the water. The key is to start breathing out as soon as your mouth is in the water and then continue to do so until it's clear of the water at the other end. And this will prevent you swallowing any water or it going the wrong way. And you want to make sure that the head movement is nice and smooth to reflect the relaxed motion. For more confidence building, we've got another breathing exercise, the sink downs. So for this, you'll need to come away from the wall and find water that's at least shoulder depth, and just start by sculling with your head above the water, and then take a nice full controlled breath in and start to gradually trickle that out. And you should find that you'll start to sink towards the bottom, and once you're at the bottom, push back off, still exhaling until you come back up to the surface and your mouth is clear of the surface, and then take another in breath and repeat this. So you should start to find a nice rhythm of going up and down with your breath. Now it's time to bring breathing into something that's closer to actual swimming. We're going to forget the arms for the moment, but we're going to start with just the legs. So it's a good idea to pop some fins on for this. Now ideally, if you can do it without a kickboard, it will make it more realistic, but if you do need to use a kickboard, we'll explain just how in a moment. So start with one arm extended and one by your side with your face down in the water. Keep a gentle and continuous kick and then blow a steady stream of air out from either your nose or mouth as you rotate your body away from that extended arm. Turn your head a little further until your mouth breaks the surface. If you still have any air left in your lungs, then exhale the rest just before you start your in-breath. Take a full breath in and rotate back so that your body and face are looking at the bottom of the pool all the time while still exhaling. And then when you feel you're coming towards the end of that exhale, rotate your body and your head back towards the side so you can take an in-breath, and continue this all the way down the length. When you get to the other end, swap and repeat it on the other side. And you might well find it easier one way than the other, but the idea of this is really trying to ingrain that continuous exhale followed by a nice controlled inhale. It's now time to put it all back together and return to the full stroke. So you want to really concentrate on maintaining that continuous exhalation for the number of chosen strokes, but don't get too hung up on that number at the moment. Just exhale until your lungs are empty and then try and time that with the start of a recovery stroke so you can get your next in-breath. You want to turn your head to breathe as your body rotates to the side. So this should be just as your arm is starting the recovery phase of the stroke. If you still have any air left in at this time, then fully exhale it and start your in-breath. And you have until your hand passes your head to finish this breath. So as soon as your face returns to the water, start the breathing out. Most of us will find it easier to breathe on one side than the other, but it is a good idea to practice both as it will help to keep your stroke that much more balanced. That said though, if you're sprinting, you're likely going to need to breathe every two, so you can stick to one side for that. As you become more efficient in the water and start to move faster and more smoothly, you'll notice that your head actually creates a bow wave effect, which causes the surface of the water next to your mouth to actually be lower, and therefore you're not going to need to turn your head as far in order to get your breath in. Once you're happy, you've got your timing nailed, and you no longer have to consciously think about that continuous exhale, it's time to make it a little bit tougher for yourself and increase that demand for oxygen. Making yourself feel uncomfortable in training will naturally make race day feel that much easier. So you can do this in two ways, either by maintaining that same stroke count between your breaths and then working harder, or just carrying on at the same pace and intensity and actually taking breath less often. So if, say, for example, you currently breathe bilaterally, you can then increase this to breathing every 5 and even up to breathing every 7. And if you are doing this, you're going to have to make sure you really control that exhalation and make it a little bit slower so that it can last the full 7 strokes. I know it's easy for me to sit here and say you need to be more relaxed, and it doesn't just happen like that. But if you work through these drills and build them up at your own pace, you'll find that your confidence will start to increase. And trust me, eventually breathing will become a subconscious part of your front crawl stroke. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up like if you have, and hit the globe to subscribe. And if you want to see a video that actually details on how to fit your breathing into your stroke, you can find that one just down here. And if you want to see what swim mistakes you might be making that you don't know about, you can find a video on that just over here.